Good morning and welcome to my live. It's 11 o'clock here on this day, 18th of April 2020. Before I commence, let's take a little bit of the look of the number energies. So it's 18 stroke 9. 9 is the energy of completion. 4 is about the connection, bringing forth a much wider connection. Again, 2020 is 4, so we're looking at 9 plus 8. So 9 plus 8 equals 17, if I'm right. Yes, 17 stroke 8, which is the infinite sign. 17 is also working in the Atlantean energy, very much in ancient Greece pantheon, back in the time of Atlantis, working in the energy of Zeus. So, looking at some of these energies, 1, 7, stroke 8, oneness, 7, we're looking at bringing through 7777 frequency of the god star Sirius, and 8, which is infinite, bringing forth a lot of this beautiful energy coming in from the great central sun. So first and foremost, it's more bringing together a collaboration of energy, updates, kind of trying to work through what is actually happening at this time with the energies. So many people are experiencing different spectrums, different experiences, and so forth. So first and foremost, I want to come to give an update from the highest accord, without space of judgment or elaboration of certain streams that are taking place, but to give an analysis of what is actually happening. So first and foremost, the energy is very intense at this time. There is an energy that's being experienced by many, collaborating of the self, bringing the self back into oneness. So from a personal soul's ascension, it's a collaboration, bringing everything back into the center point. But what is also happening at a wider scale, when we're looking into the collective field, going out into what is actually happening out there, there is a current split taking place. This is very interesting, a current split. So souls, this is something that the message has been very strong and very clear. Certainly when I'm sharing my messages to you all, is to know thyself, work upon thyself, compassion in action, embracing the love, embracing the kindness, embracing the wisdom, looking at your qualities. Everything is about embracing the soul ascension. So, when we're doing that, we're working upon ourselves, we're working, keeping our vibrations high, doing what's right. But it's not just about doing what's right for us, but also how we are projecting ourselves into the wider community. Are we coming into the wider community in the space of love and compassion? Or are we going into the community creating fear-based distortion, and messages that are coming through? And this is where the split is now being manifested. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen this being widespread on social media streams and so forth, that there is a split unfolding. So from my angle, and what I am here to do, is to encourage you all to remain in the space of love, in the space of compassion, but also that we also have to set ourselves healthy boundaries. And when we are working in fifth dimension, we become aware of what is actually happening, but we're also aware that there is a dual situation that is manifesting as well. So, you know, we have to do what we can to put ourselves out there, to encourage, to embrace, and so forth. So there is a split that's occurring, and a lot of people have mentioned this to me as well. Certainly people who are connecting up to spirit world, connecting with their guides, connecting with the energies, connecting with the frequencies, but also you can see this, what's actually happening at this time. So what I'm going to say to you, I'm going to say from my experience, and I'm also going to, I'm sure you probably know this as well. So what I'm going to explain from a dimensional perspective. So when we're sitting up at fifth dimension, we are working with the flow of healing energy. We are working from the space of compassion. We understand that there is a much wider picture from higher perspective, from the higher perspective, from the higher realms, as to what is happening upon the earth plane. So I'm fully aware that the pandemic or the coronavirus that's happening right now, which is a challenge, this has been foretold. Nothing is new when we're sitting up in the highest realms of spirit. What happens upon the earth, we know it's something that's not new. So when you're hitting up in spirit world and you're connecting up to spirit, we understand that plans are put in place. Souls agree to certain things, to certain challenges. If you do life between lives, past life regression, and so forth, connecting up to spirit world, knowing what is happening, souls agree to come and experience the experience. So yes, we knew that this was going to happen. This is the challenge that's happening at this time. So when we have a challenge that's hitting us globally, there is either one way or the other that we can choose to go. So one, we can decide we go and hit vibe high, and in the higher sense of consciousness we then know there's a much wider field. Or we could decide to go down to the earth where the root chakra is, and I say you either go up to the crown or you can go to the root chakra. There is always a choice. So if you go down to the root chakra, and this is where I find where conspiracy theories, earth theories, people who are generating their ideas and their opinions and things that they want to shed an opinion on, you know, that's fine, because there's one way or the other. Now, I'm finding that people are working in a vibration that's coming down on theories, casting judgment, you know, making an opinions on people, opinions on, you know, how things should be, opinions and so forth. These are opinions. These are third dimensional, fourth dimensional opinions. So basically, this is what humans do when we're on the earth. You know, we are in general, you know, if we're meeting up with our friends, our family, we discuss theories, we discuss opinions and so forth. This is what we call, what we do when we're in normal everyday society. We're also having spiritual teachers trying to analyze the conspiracy theories and what's actually going on. But the thing is, there's either one way or the other. You know, we can either go and vibe high, and work in the space of love, see things for what it is. Let's do what we can as a community. Yes, there's a crisis going on in the physical realms. Okay. There is a pandemic going on. So what do we do as light workers? You know, yes, we can be made aware there are a lot of theories going on and so forth. But when you're up in the higher frequency, you know, we know that things happen. We know natural disasters happen. We know, we've had the fires in Australia, the fires in California. Things are happening. And you think, right, okay, this is happening. But if I was to theorize, working from higher perspective, my higher perspective, my higher guidance tells me is that the earth and the energy of the earth changes and revolves. It changes and revolves just like we do. We grow and we evolve and we expand, and so forth. But also, everything is governed by energy. The climate is governed by energy. The economy in itself is governed by energy. Everything is governed by energy. So whatever we do, and whatever we create, whatever we manifest, is governed by energy. So, this is what is actually happening, and a lot of people are not quite understanding, are is governing by energy. So basically, when we're hitting up at fifth dimensional perspective, when we're in that perspective at fifth dimension, we become more connected up into the spirit world, knowing that there are wider plans. We become more aware that we're in the space of love and compassion. We release the judgments. We release all that is no longer what you call serving our higher good. We understand that everything is energy. So what we then what we then do, we don't come into that space of opinions. It's not about opinions. It's about understanding that there is a wider perspective, and seeing souls as souls. Seeing souls as souls. Seeing souls, many souls are experiencing different things at this time. Souls that are experiencing, different aspects. They could be experiencing different levels of coronavirus. I personally have friends who have suffered the coronavirus, who have been in hospital. I've had friends who know people whom have passed away from the coronavirus. On Monday, I'm going to be sitting at the gates of the local cemetery, um, making sure, that the funerals are coming in, are adhering to safety guidelines, but also, giving guidance as well. But I also am aware that I've been asked to do this, and I've been tasked to do this by my workplace. It's not my normal job, but during this time I've been asked to do it because I want to be of service. So as a service soul working mediumistically, I then I am absolutely aware, because I cross souls over to the light. I'm aware that I'm there for a higher purpose. So this is how we work, understanding, the wider perspective. You know, we're here for a reason doing stuff. Our doctors, our nurses, our carers are also working in a higher perspective. Our health organisations, our hospitals, our care homes, you know, everyone that's coming together in community, and this is basically the structure of the energy that's taking place at this time. You know, this bringing together is what is coming through from higher perspective, higher realms. You know, we are looking at the purpose of how humanity is coming together, working together, and it's not people whom are judging. These are people in everyday lives coming together to do what they need to do to save lives, but also to help Mother Earth to heal. Because even right now, the energy structure of the Earth is taking what you call an energy respite. So yes, people who on the opposite end who think that we are being under the state of control, or the control matrix that they are stuck in with this 3D, 4D matrix. The third dimensional, fourth dimensional matrix thinks there's a lot of control going on, mind control and stuff like this. That is not actually what is actually happening, because what they're not thinking is, well, what is actually happening when we bring everybody into indoors, which is a metaphor. What is actually happening outside with Mother Earth and the nature, the structure of the planet, and so forth, the structure of the planet, energetically, the climate of the planet, is actually changing. So everything is changing, everything's changing, energy is changing. We are changing, we're evolving, we're changing, we're restructuring, we're what you call resetting. So everything is under the terms reset, recollaboration, you know, reflection, renewal. Everything is like under the category as we are renewing, recollaborating, resetting. Everything, this is what is happening in ourselves and, you know, the planet as a whole. So, I personally am recollaborating, and renewing and reflecting and so forth, as a soul. And this is basically what the energy that we are at this time, this energy. It's the RE. So this is where we are at the moment. Renewing, recollaborating, revitalizing, reflecting. So everything, that's where we are at. So what I'm also going to be saying to you, dear ones, is that we're also in the tide of revelation. So we are revealing. Okay, that's another energy that we are in, revealing. We are revealing the status of the planet. We are revealing the status of souls. We are revealing the lights. Okay, and we are revealing the darkness. Okay, so we are revealing. So this is another energy that's coming in, the RE. This is the energy that we are in. So I'm also going to work through some of the messages that I'm receiving, because there's an awful lot of stuff that's coming through. There's a lot of stuff that I've been doing over the past few days, so I'm actually going to go through some of the stuff, some of the images that I've drawn over the last few days, the last few weeks as well, that have been coming through. So this is something very strong that's come through, and this is about the Grail Cup. The Grail Cup, and this is interesting because it's also the structure I always draw on the Grail. The Grail Cup is always similar. This is everything that comes through about the Holy Grail. This is what comes through, and this is the sun. Okay, but this is basically, if you look at this, it's as above, so below. So it's like a reflection. Everything's a reflection. Yes. So everything's a reflection. So that's another thing, a reflection. Okay. So as above, so below. We are recollaborating, realigning. These are all these words that are coming through very strongly. And reuniting. Yes, we are reuniting. Reuniting. And this is a very strong energy. So this is, again, a reflection. As above, so below, but also bringing everything together. This is the sacred bloodline. The sacred bloodline, we always call it the sacred bloodline, but it's also about where we are coming, we're coming back to that center point. It's always this center point here, Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness, the very center of Christ consciousness. I also done a lot of work over the past couple of years with Notre Dame, and I know this is Notre Dame, but I had this image come in into my sphere, pink moon. I had to draw this. Now, Notre Dame was another metaphor. And I've shared many videos before. The energy around me has gone gold now because I'm actually, as I say, working with a Mahatma field at the moment as I'm delivering a lot of this stuff. So this is Notre Dame. This is the pink moon. So I've had this image come to my mind. Now, Notre Dame is metaphoric, Lady of the North. In geometria, here we go. It's very golden around me. This is the energy that I'm working in as well, working in the golden ray of light. This is where the wisdom comes in. So now, Notre Dame. Notre Dame, Lady of the North, many activations taking place, Hyperborea, certain shifts going on in France. I've been working a lot with the French energy, a lot of the stuff that's happening in France, so in the history, so I've been working very much with the time plates and templates in France and stuff like this. Now, Notre Dame, Lady of the North, in geometria, if you put n equals 14, d is 4. If you look at that, if you put the 2 together, it is 144. This is the cosmic flow of consciousness that I'm working with. Notre Dame, Lady of the North. Also there was, and I've shared this during the fires, 18,000 bees got saved. These 18,000 bees were contained within 3 beehives, 6,000 to each of the beehives. So 666. I have shared a vision that I had of the 3 beehives. 666, which is 18,000 bees. I'm also working in the energy of the rooster myself because my birth year is 1969. The rooster fell from the steeple and wasn't damaged at all. This is the rooster. The rooster is very much assigned to the solar energy, of which I also work in. This is the energy that I work in, the sun solar. So there's a lot of frequencies coming in. Now, I had this pink moon, which is a sign for me that things are evolving, that things are growing, things are healing and manifesting as they should be. This is also the pink moon, represents the divine feminine. The divine feminine is doing what it should do to manifest the love and the healing on the on the earth and so forth. So basically, then I'm getting 6 windows, which is again 6. 6 comes in. For me, I work in the energy of 42-6, which is my life path. 42-6. Yes, now Jazz has just asked me about the flame of Saint Germaine. I actually work with his spirit. I'm fully connected with Saint Germaine from the lifetime of King Louis of France. He was the count that came in from Romania. That's where he was in that particular lifetime as the Count of Saint Germaine. I work with his spirit, fully aware of his Akashic record. Yes, I work with the violet light. I work fully, I've been called to work fully in this lifetime, utilizing the Mahatma light, zero force energy. This is the golden light of the sun. But yes, I do work, and I also do violet light healing. So I work with the Count of Saint Germaine, but in many of his forms and lifetimes, including that of Saint Joseph, back at the time of Yeshua, and some of the other lifetimes that Saint Germaine has had back in the Atlantean times as well. And certainly in his ancient Greek times. So I'm fully aware of who Saint Germaine is, fully working with his spirit. 42-6, getting back to 42-6, I'm just answering Jazz's question there. 42-6 is my life path code. Fully utilizing, working with the energy of Heru, Horus, who is my spirit guide, and twin flame on the in spirit. I work with his spirit. I'm also fully utilizing the energy of 42-6 in this lifetime, the upholding the laws of Mat and the 42 laws, the 42 books of Thoth. Working with 6 energy, which is to do with the macabric field, the triple macabre that activates the Mahatma frequency and the golden light. 6 is also the code of healing and the structure of the DNA structure, the genetic code, and the karmic wheel, which forms part of the Akashic records. The Akashic records is what we utilize and formalize with the plans of souls that are incarnating onto the earth, and souls making their transitions back into spirit world, into the ethers. So I'm working in this energy, so 6 comes in again. 6 is also 6 is also the number of Christ consciousness, which is 33/6. Also the structure of the Jupiter energy, 24/6. So 24/6 is also a code that I work with, as well as 33/6. So these are different energy fields and structures that I'm working with, but I saw 6 windows. inside Notre Dame Cathedral is what they have is a they call it a relic of the crown of thorns. Now the crown of thorns is also a metaphor, but also taken from the rose bush. The rose bush, the rose bush of the divine feminine. So within that particular church, they are working with the rose energy of Notre Dame, Lady of the North, but also inside the church that they have a relic of the crown of thorns that didn't even get destroyed in the fire. So there's a lot of stuff that was protected during the fires. And this pink moon, which happened to be the biggest moon energy that we've actually seen for quite some time, the biggest supermoon, was very prominent over Notre Dame. But I just wanted to show you some of the visions that I'm getting. So this is healing frequency. Healing frequency. I've also got this, which is the sun energy, but also a wheat. A wheat, a great, this is a wheat coming in on the sun energy, golden wheat. This is what's actually happening at this time, in a sense, not in a sense with the coronavirus. The coronavirus is a struggle, it's a challenge, but it's also a metaphor that is helping us to actually renew, and bring in the energy that we are supposed to be in. We are supposed to be this is the wheat that we are in at this time. Okay, Mahatma Zero energy. Mahatma is a golden white energy frequency that comes in from, it is the God force energy, the God goddess force energy. This is an energy that has been manifesting since the beginning of time. A lot of souls that have had sacred timelines will be utilizing this energy. We are bringing this healing frequency and energy that's coming in. It is a high frequency. It's very transformative, but it also helps the soul, that when I'm connecting with souls, certainly on healing, certainly on when I'm doing the ascension path and so forth, when I'm utilizing this energy, it helps souls to clear their energy frequency. It helps the souls to ascend more through the connection of love. Yes, the Cathars of France. There's a lot happening with the French energy. I'm just responding to Jazz at the moment. So yes, the 0 point energy, which is the goddess force frequency. It is also a frequency that's used by enlightened souls. The Mahatma means enlightenment. It means enlightenment. So Mahatma has been used by many enlightened souls throughout time and space. The ascension itself is a soul-based ascension, and this is what I can tell you from my spirit guide team. It is a soul-based ascension. It's not collective field, because when we are working upon our own frequency and our soul frequency, working upon ourselves, we then are able to ascend. Yes, what I would say to you with regards to the Mahatma field, the Mahatma frequency, is when you are in meditation, just imagine yourself in this beautiful golden white light. It is a higher frequency than that of the violet light and the violet flame. It is a far higher frequency. but also the violet light is also a higher frequency. I work with the violet lights. I usually call upon that of Amritas, but it's also the violet planet that we have in a system that just goes beyond the system of Sirius. Within the structure of the cosmos and different constellations, we do also have entry points into other galaxies and systems. So yes, I'm fully aware that there is a pink planet that I work with, which is Sedna, and I'm also working with Amritas, which is a violet planet that we stem this beautiful energy coming through from these planets and systems. So this is going into what you call the cosmosphere, understanding where certain rays of light comes in from cosmos. These planets are quite sacred. They have been sacred for since the time has began, basically. So we work in streams. So going into the cosmos, into the galaxies, into the universal energies and stuff like that, we have different frequencies coming in from there. So yes, I know working with Germaine, Germaine works within a certain frequency, then obviously working the Divine Mother frequency. We also have the blue flame as well, which is very much the Shiva, Krishna, Archangel Michael. Again, very much the sun, solar. That comes in from the frequency of Sirius A, and also we have the golden temple of Sirius A as well. Certain temples coming in, you know, different frequencies coming in from the great central sun. So there is a lot of stuff. So there is a lot of stuff that's happening at this time. Again, I am elaborating on the current crisis of the Earth. If you'd like to listen to this again as a replay, then you'll understand what is actually happening. So getting back, this is where we are at in terms of the golden wheat. So basically what we are happening, as we're recollaborating our energies, we're collaborating our sacred light, working, increasing our vibration and our frequency, we become aware of the whole. So at the moment there is a split happening. We can go either one way or the other way. There is no in between, apart from growth, because as souls we are, you know, embracing growth. We're also embracing different levels, so we're not all going to be at the same level. We are going through growth and evolution. That growth and evolution is based on the decisions that we make, the resonance that we participate in, and you know, the more that we connect with our heart space, and within our heart space, connecting with love, connecting with compassion, connecting with faith, hope, kindness, wisdom, knowledge, and so forth. So we are representing this golden wheat, because right at the end of the challenges that we are embracing, you know, judgment, yes, everybody is in the space of judgment at the moment. Judgment is happening. This is a whole big energy at the moment, depending on which stream that you are in. If you're working in higher frequency, you land up not resonating with what's going on at a lower frequency. You understand that's not resonating. So if you look at what's happening, even on social media, sharing stuff with regards, I've seen light workers that have mass followings, real mass followings. It's unreal, and they're at the lower spectrum, literally at the lower spectrum, and yet they have what you call mass followings. So what are they doing is they're sharing stuff that is going to attract the lower frequencies, and that's not the way you should be going as an ascension teacher. You shouldn't be attracting an energy that's going to attract lower energy frequencies, because you create another energy that is not of the highest good. So this is what's actually happening. There is a struggle going on at third, fourth dimensional level. So what we have to do is we have to remove ourselves from that energy and come into a higher frequency. So sometimes, if that means having to disconnect yourself from that energy in order for you to take yourself into the time of reflection, renewing, and so forth, then be it. Remove yourself. Again, remove. There's another word that's coming in now. Remove. Yes, that's exactly. Jazz has just said 2 timeline splits taking place between 4 and 5D. This is absolute, again, I wouldn't say it's a crisis. I like to use the word challenge. I'm responding to someone who was saying crisis. So Jazz has actually just said to me, I'm just looking at some of the comments that are coming through. So it's a challenge that we are in. And this is, again, coming in from a higher perspective. Are you going to say it's a crisis, or are you going to say it's a challenge? I prefer to use the word challenge, because then it encompasses a wider spectrum, a wider energy, and an energy that, some people have different understandings of what challenges are. So I prefer using challenge. I don't like using the word fear or anything like that, and I don't like the energy of fear. So that's another spectrum that's being created again with the split that's happening. So are you in the space of love, or are you in the space of fear? And that's where the split is. And it's quite apparent at this time. So if you're trying to get yourself, you're up in that space of love, and there's kind of a struggle because and sometimes when you are going up and you're stepping up and you're going up into higher frequencies, it can be challenging. And if you're an empath and you're clairsentient and you're feeling energy, and then you go onto social media and you're going onto the news and you're saying, oh my gosh, I can't watch that, it's not, and I'm not resonating with that, I'm afraid. And messages that are being shared, I'm not resonating with this. Okay, so what then I suggest that you do is remove yourself from that situation, even if you have to delete, because as light workers we actually get so many people, and this is what I'm having to do now. I've had to remove a lot from my friends list because I'm actually seeing a lot of people sharing what you call fear-based messages, fear-based distortions, and I'm sitting here, well, I don't really want to have that on my in my timeline or my news feed, or if people are picking that up on my following. I have a responsibility to promote love. So this is basically what I'm trying to do. So I delete. They're not ready for my message yet, but when they are coming into the timeline or the dimensional frequency, or they go through that split or whatever they can come back to me at a later stage. So, so yes, in a sense, without judgment, we are, having to make decisions, healthy decisions, that's going to be of our benefit. And even myself, I have to make some healthy decisions as well. So, this is very much what it's about. This is golden wheat, golden harvest. Last year, messages that I've shared from Horus has been much about golden harvest. He's been telling me quite a bit about golden harvest. So yes, we have had this virus. This virus, for those who are connected to the spirit world, they have kind of metaphorically, in one way, shape or another, told us that this is happening and that we need to prepare. And yes, but not all people will listen. Sylvia Brown has foretold it. Nostradamus has foretold it. It's been in ancient scriptures. I know when I'm connecting upwards, I'm going, oh yes, Horus has told me in his metaphoric language, and I've had Germaine told me, so some other high beings have come into my sphere and they've told me as well. So I'm just saying, we got told about this last year, golden harvest. But it doesn't mean that the evil ones and Hollywood stars and government officials, again, if you're in 5D, you kind of remain detached from what's happening on a political front. You don't, when you're in 5D, you understand that all leaders have been called. All leaders have been called at this time to also work as a unified front in unity. Again, there is a structure happening to bring everybody back working in a unified front, not in separation consciousness. And this is where the challenges are. So, yes, there has been a split. So when we're in 5D, we can actually see what's actually happening. I've been working 5D for quite some time, so I know exactly from working above the 5D threshold what is actually happening right now. So there has been a split. So technically, what is actually happening, then we have to kind of bring everything back together, and it's about the unified front. I'm also being shown the energy of polarization and the integration of polarity. An integration of polarity, and that is a task in hand that we must do upon ourselves. I also going to bring you through into this other image that I got through very strong a few days ago. I'm going to share with you some messages that I've received with regards to this kind of thing. So we have what you call a cube. This is actually a cube, but it's also sacred geometric in nature. It's sacred geometric in nature. I'm also seeing this as an element of consciousness. So basically, if you think of a cube or a square or a cube or a box, and so forth. I'm also getting this as what you call, what do they call it now? It will come to me in a minute. It's emerald. It will come to me in a minute. My spirit will tell me what I need to know. So, I'm actually getting the cube. Now the cube can be, and it's blue. Blue is about will, divine will. I got this blue cube. So basically, again, with this blue, and I'm seeing souls with this blue cube inside this cube as well. So a soul could be inside that cube. So basically, it's an element of consciousness. And everybody has their consciousness fields are at different levels. Okay, so see this as energetic and not physical. So I'm speaking energetic. So this cube that's coming in, it's blue in nature, but I'm also seeing there's a trinity here as well. I'm seeing this like a trinity, so it's mind, body and spirit, you know, so I'm seeing that. I'm also seeing, so if you see this being blue, or what you call, I will call that indigo blue actually. So basically this is all to do with the throat and the third eye, these higher chakras here. This is to do with consciousness in itself. So labyrinth, thank you. Thank you, Jazz. So basically, we got this blue cube, and I'm seeing, you know, souls are inside this cube, and the cube is about consciousness, and basically, we should be expanding that cube, because basically it's what you call 3D. So this is where you got 3D. It's a 3D structure, this cube. So basically, they're in that cube. Now, they are connecting with a certain element of consciousness, but they're not getting up to where they need to be in their consciousness field. So it becomes restrictive. So on the outside of that cube, and we say that's inside that because right behind that is what you call the hidden. So right behind that we have the labyrinth, which is, I call it the Emerald Gateway. And the Emerald Gateway is the gateway of our higher consciousness, our subconsciousness, our Akashic records, the halls of Amenti. This is, you know, and it's quite, as I say, it's like a spiral, or what we call it. We go, you know, it's a spiral, but also behind that is a wisdom. It's a golden light, it's a golden energy, golden frequency. So basically we have layers upon layers. So in that bit, if you get stuck, and I call it the mind, because what we're looking at, throat, third eye, just around here, is all about the mind. And this is where the split is as well. I'm going into the split now, because you've got mind, matter, and then you've got spirit. Mind matter is focusing upon the physical, it's focusing what's going on around you, analysing what's going on around you, analysing the governments, analysing institutions, analysing the health professions, analysing vaccines, analysing you know, what's going on with political parties, you know, making judgments and so forth. So basically this is all earth plane stuff. This is 3-4D astral. astral plane as well, because it manifests into the astral layers. So this is the mind. This is mind matter. When we are shifting ourselves out of this cube, and this is what we have to do, is we shift ourselves out of this cube, taking ourselves upwards, connecting with our heart frequency. The heart frequency is emerald green. The heart frequency is emerald green, and it's also pink. So if you have a look at this here, going back here to pink moon, this is very interesting because we had pink moon inside the very essence of the coronavirus epidemic. So we have to shift ourselves into the green, into the pink. Okay, so the pink is all about love, compassion in action, healing, and so forth. The green is all about the Akashic field, the Akashic records, the Akashic in terms of connecting with our DNA blueprint, our genetic codes. And then you got the golden light. The golden light is very much the universal. It is very much the wisdom, the knowledge, the cosmic energy. So basically you have got layers here. This is where we're getting the layers. So you've got to come from here to here to here. And this is something that I was coming in very strongly with what is going on, and I had this coming in very strongly when many people were actually doing their meditations. I don't know if any of you participated in that, because everybody wanted you to link in at a certain time. I certainly didn't want to link in at a certain time, because my theory is that we should be doing this at any time that we are guided to. We should be doing this every day. We should be connecting up every day. We should be making our connections every day, not on a specific time and in a space. But it is also, the positive sign is good, because the intentions are pure, to send forth the healing and the energy out to Mother Earth. That is pure intention. If there are intentions that are not required outside that sphere, then you have to step back. So I personally didn't, and I'm going to say this, I did not meditate on the global at the time that was specified, because my guidance says I can make my manifestation, my meditation and connection at any time that I desire it to be, and I do that daily, every day. So that is my admission to you all. So basically what we have to do, we have to take ourselves out the box upon the path of the Emerald Gateway, which is the heart space, and taking ourselves beyond that into the wisdom, the wisdom that's coming in from higher frequencies. Not connecting higher frequencies and saying, well, and thinking that Germaine's coming down here. Germaine is actually saying stuff about President Trump and stuff like that, because no, Germaine does not say anything about President Trump. This is another illusion of souls that are working within the space, their own personal space, because when you're working with spirit, the energies of Germaine, the energies of Horus, they come in with condensed wisdom. And Germaine is not a politician. Germaine is a scientist, he's a philosopher, and he's much more than, he's not a politician as such. I can tell you, back at the time of King Louis of France, King Louis was actually an incarnation of Horus. Count Saint Germain was there as well. because he was very prominent in Europe, the Count of Saint Germain. You can actually check this on, even on Google, the Count of Saint Germain. Yes, you can get his lifetime, but he was very much at the time of King Louis of France, because I was also there during that lifetime. And I also know that George Washington is an ascended master himself, and he incarnated as Saint Andrew back at the time of Yeshua during those timelines. So I do know a lot from the Akashic field of the ascended beings, because I work within that sphere. And I know that there was an agreement at that time. So yes, they have in past lives worked in that sphere, but they are not going to come down and say that, and Mother Mary is not going to come down and say there is going to be a divine government established in Washington, D.C., and Jesus is going to be sitting in the White House. This is what some of the stuff that's coming in from channelers. So part of my, part of what I do, working with spirit, part of what I do working with mentorship programs is to enable people to connect with their spirit guides and angels, and to bring in the condensed wisdom, because when you are sitting in trance, when you work with spirit in the higher realms, they are looking at soul evolution. They're working with the higher wisdom. They work very gracefully. They work with high frequency. They work with healing. They will not speculate, and they will not give comments on personal leaders and preference. This is something that they do not do. High spirit guides, ascended masters, angelics. What I will say to you, and I will confirm to you, that loved ones that have crossed over, our loved ones that have crossed over may have a political affiliation, and this is where we, mediumship, we discern the energies that are coming in. So, loved ones, Aunt Sally comes in, and in life, Aunt Sally was a conservative, so she may have her opinions based on conservatives. So she comes in, Aunt Sally, she gives, often or not, a medium will connect with Aunt Sally, if you're working properly as a medium, to bring in the evidence of who Aunt Sally is to that person. So Aunt Sally may come in, and she could be, Aunt Sally could be, she may have died of something. So the medium will feel the energy of how that person died. So that the medium will then give that evidence. And Aunt Sally often will come in with a message. So Aunt Sally may turn around, not like what's going on with left wing, because she has an opinion. So this is what can be happening with a lot of the channel messages that are coming in. They could be connecting with spirits that they're not understanding, spirits that are coming in with a political agenda, and so forth, and also channelers not setting aside properly their own affiliations and what they believe in. So they may have an opinion on something. So if I turn around and said to you, if I turn around and said to you as a channel, Horus is sitting next to me right now, and he does not like what Boris Johnson did yesterday. Sorry, but that's not how Horus works, and I know that. He doesn't work like that. He just sits in, takes everything in. Yes, he does sit there and he watches what is happening, or he stands with me, and if I'm watching something that's off the news. But he does not give an opinion to the collective. What he will say is, I understand what is happening at this time, and it gives me great comfort that everything is coming together as it should be. This is Horus now. I'm getting a bit of the energies that are coming in now. So Horus will say, I would like a unified front. It is very important that organisations, institutions, governments, so forth, come together as one to work for the common good and benefit of humanity. We must embrace the all, remembering that there are less fortunate ones than yourselves. Countries are going to be struggling more than others with the current situation. So we have to be mindful of what is happening in areas that are less fortunate than themselves, ensuring that these organisations, governments, health institutions and so forth are working together for the common good of all, to make sure that we reduce the rates that are happening and premature deaths that are taking place, because again, this is another thing that we must strive together to do. So this is something that would come through from higher frequency, from a spirit at a higher frequency. So I was just I'm feeling the energy coming through as I was saying that to you all. So I've just pulled some cards in from the Isis deck, and I'm going to now connect with the Isis deck. And first and foremost, the very first card that I got as I'm very first card is the Pyramid of Light. The Pyramid of Light is about step your vibration deeper into the essence of love. So the Pyramid of Light it's there to remind us that we must embrace the pyramid, and it's very important. Very interesting, because even if you see that from an angle, if you look at that, there is a trinity of diamonds. This is interesting because there's a trinity of diamonds. I want to say that's a diamond frequency as well, trinity of diamonds. So basically what we have to do is we're evolving it out of the diamond structure, going beyond the diamond structure, the crystalline, okay, into a space of the hearts, the lotus, the pink lotus, and we're going into the golden energy, the golden light, the Mahatma frequency, which is far higher frequency. So when I'm working, working aligning the earth, I work with solar sun frequency, golden light frequency, which is far higher frequency. So this is basically what we are here to do. We're here to step inside the pyramid of light. What I would like to say to you is working with the macabre and the sacred heart energy. The macabre, the sacred heart, connecting up through your meditational practices, connecting with the macabre, but try and connect to double and triple macabre. by then you then increase your energy frequency into entering the state of the Mahatma frequency, because when we work within that triple macabre field, we are entering into the state of Mahatma energy. So keep your vibration deeper into the space of love. You can't get into the space of the Mahatma without connecting with the love frequency. You have to connect with the love frequency. So this is very much where we are at this time. The message coming in from the angelics and the ascended masters. What is actually happening at this time? I've got 3 cards here. So basically, we are, this is a polarized field. If you look at blue and you look at gold, again, this energy is coming in very strongly. So look at the blue and look at the gold. So if you look at the blue and you look at the gold, again, this is a polarity in itself. Very interesting. So basically, are you here or are you here? This is where we have to transcend ourselves. This is the polarity. So if you look at that, so technically, what we have to do is say bye-bye to this and hello to this. So this is the proper burial of freedom. This is what we call sacrifice. It says sacrifice to Osiris, Lord of the Dead. So basically what we're doing here is we're saying bye-bye to the to 3D, and we do that as souls, and we evolve up to here into the space of spirit, higher frequencies. So when we get into that space here, we become freer. We are free. We're free spirits. Free. That's where freedom is. When we are connecting into the higher frequency, the higher love, state of compassion. This one here is divine, the divine sisterhood. The divine sisterhood. And it is a community of spiritual sisters and brothers of the light. So basically, during this time of challenge, during this time of what is happening here, we come together as spiritual brothers and sisters to promote love, to promote the compassion, to promote the light. And when we're looking at the light, yes, we're aware of what's going on the other side, but we are there as conduits to shine this energy and light. We are also there at the center, at the epicenter of the communities that we are living in, being that light, that beacon of light and love in people's lives. So this is what the communities are doing as well, and the earth plane and nations are coming together to unite as one. So as we are doing that, we restore life. We are restoring Gaia. We're restoring the earth and the energy of the earth. Priestess of the Phoenix, allow Gaia Earth to rise up once more as the Phoenix rising up into the sky. So this is where we are at. Allow the phoenix within you to rise up once more. Allow the phoenix within you to take wings and fly. This is a big message that is coming through at this time. Embrace love, embrace compassion, embrace the love and the light that you have within you. This is the message that's coming through from the higher realms. I'm going to leave that with you all. There's so much more I can say to you at this time. I could be here for hours talking. But biggest message to you all at this time is to remain in the space of love, to remain in the space of compassion, but also use that energy to discern. And if there's nothing there that's going to be of your higher good, or serving your higher goods, let it go. We are in the time of the energy of refreshing, renewing, recollaborating, and so forth. So thank you very much for sharing this space with me this morning. God bless you all. Stay safe. Thank you.